So this is part 2 of day in a life, but it's actually going to be more focused on just this specific order versus like the rest of the day. This is probably the next couple of hours. I've already eaten lunch. I've taken my nap between like 4 and 7, and now I'm back decorating. This is a pride flag that is due Wednesday the next day, but I work on Wednesdays, which means I need to get this done tonight so I can bring it with me to work so I can deliver it on time on Wednesday. This is a repeat order, so they ordered this cake last year, and so I already knew what I needed to do. However, I still can't do math, and so I needed to make 6 lines across my cake, so I had the 6 colors of the flag. Of course, I can't do math, and so it looked okay, and then I realized as I did the middle here, when I went to do my triangle, because I do the LGBTQ flag with the BIPOC and trans colors, I was like, nope, these stripes aren't right. And so after doing the triangle, I used that to mark my middle, and then I did my 3 lines that way, and that worked out a lot better. From here, I am just deepening my lines with my little like metal toothpick tool just so that I can see them and make sure that I'm following my guidelines. So when I go to do all of my colors, it makes sure that everything looks as even as possible. One mistake I made is I did not glue my cupcakes down with frosting to the board. I just set them on top and thought they would stick. They did not. They went to go on a little field trip. So once I got them secured, I put some frosting down. Now it's time to do my colors. I really love this design because I use a lot of piping tips to add a lot of texture to this cake, so it adds a lot of interest and makes it look a little bit busy but still really cohesive. It's just a really beautiful like melting pot. I alternate between like 1M tips, 2D tips, French tips like a 6B, 4B, and then I use smaller star tips to fill in the gaps like a 22, and then I go in with a round tip as well, like something like a 4, to just add even more texture, but also kind of smooths it out a little bit. Just gives it a little bit of like less texture, you know, just to make it look really nice. The one thing about this is because I use a white base to stick all my cupcakes together, you can see white if I don't cover all of my cake. And so it's like great and not great because it means I can see when there are holes, but also it means those holes are really obvious and I have to try to fit a piping tip in there to like fill in that little gap. So this took probably an hour just to like make sure all of those holes were nice and filled in. Love this close up. So next it's time to do the other part of the flag, which is just vanilla frosting colored all different colors. And then I'm using another star tip around a 22 or so just to kind of fill in the flag here. If you're someone who struggles to do like smooth items and smooth cakes, I recommend doing something that requires a lot of texture like this. It kind of hides those mistakes a little bit. It's also just really, really cute. The last step I do is I go around with my toothpick to kind of clean up the edges, and this one's done.